CVI, the full form of CVI is cerebral visual impairment. Okay, it is basically a brain-based visual impairment that happens when the eyes are normal, and they are structurally normal, but there is a damage to the brain. So the brain, in layman's terms, if you have to explain, the brain cannot understand what the eyes are seeing. So this is CVI, or cerebral visual impairment, and it is one of the most common, or it is on the rise as being one of the most common causes of low vision in developed countries, and it is also increasing in developing countries. So the prevalence, if you would need a percentage, a recent study in South India said that 33% of cases of children with low vision is because of CVI. The most important cause is decrease in the blood supply to the brain. Okay, that is called a hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. So this happens during birth, just after birth, and due to some reasons there is a decrease in the blood supply to the brain, and that causes a brain damage. And the brain, the structure is such that almost 70% of the brain functions to see. Okay, so vision is present in around 70% of the brain, around the brain, in that brain area. Any part of the brain that's affected can affect vision in some form or the other. And this maybe we can say that because of improved and advancements in neonatal intensive care units, that we are able to very young children, preterm children are surviving, and children with many complications are also surviving, and maybe the sequelae of that, or the consequences of that, could be the CVI. More than prevention, I think early diagnosis is important, because there are some things like we cannot avoid in terms of the child. If the child has to be born at 26 weeks, child is born at 28 weeks, then after the child is born, there are various changes that happen when the child is born. Those things are a little difficult. Those are the things that is required for the child in the NICU. So we'll have to go by that protocol. So it's difficult, to say that by doing this we can prevent CVI and things like that. But if we diagnose it early, you will have to keep a check on the visual milestones of the child. Okay, just like how we keep a check on the developmental milestones of a child, and saying, yes, the child is now able to sit on its own, child is able to walk on its own, and things like that. So even vision has its own milestones. So the first time the child looks at the mother, the eye contact, the social smile, it has to happen within 3 months, 3 to 4 months of age. If it does not happen by then that's one of the red flags. Okay, so that's how early that we can ask the child and ask the mother to come and report to us that if it's not happening, then probably the child has having a risk for CVI, and then we can start the intervention in that. So we need to understand that we have to have a close follow-up of these babies who are at risk. So especially babies who are born before 9 months of gestation period, babies who have born with a lot of complications, who have had their stay in the NICU, and babies who have had convulsions, fits, babies who have had low blood sugar after birth. So these are all the important causes of CVI. So if we know these babies and we have a close follow-up, then it's easy for us to understand the visual milestones. The child may be born normally, the child may not have had any issues for it to be admitted in the NICU, but there could be a genetic cause. Okay, there are a lot of genetic syndromes that are associated with CVI, okay, that can present little later, or even during the neonatal period, that is within 30 days of birth, if the child has had any infection in terms of brain infection or respiratory infection or anything like that, or fits. Okay, that can also cause brain damage at that time, and that can also lead to CVI. Some children whom we have seen have had a history of fall from the bed, because it's quite common that the children roll over and fall off the bed. So if they've had history of fall and they've had a brain damage then, and then they've been in the NICU or in the ICU, and then the child has a vision impairment. Older children, so they can get something called acquired CVI, in terms of if they've had a brain infection, okay, and if they've had a fall, even traumatic brain injuries, they can develop this. See, CVI is not always low vision. Children can have normal vision. Okay, so there is a range. Like you can have normal vision to very low vision. Okay, but they have some abnormal visual behaviors. Okay, like I said, in 3 to 4 months of age, if the child is not looking directly at the mother, is not giving a smile. When you smile, the child will return a smile. That's called social smile. So the child is not doing that. Or if the child is not able to reach out to a toy, okay, so that is one important thing. We all play peekaboo with children, okay, so if the child is not enjoying that, he is looking at something but he is not really enjoying and understanding, yes, there is a face hidden behind the hands, and then you open the hands and then there is this face that is shown. If he is not able to understand that, then those are all probably signs that there could be some brain damage. Okay. Or in later years, like we have had children who are 6 years, 7 years old who have started going to school because they were normal till then, and they started going to school and then they have had difficulty in reading and writing or copying from the blackboard. Okay, so those, when you actually check and when you take a detailed history in terms of their birth history and developmental history, you would realize that there has been some event during birth and and that could lead to this kind of an impairment where the child is having a difficulty in coordination. One thing we need to remember is the child having CVI is not, the child does not have only vision impairment, the child may have other disabilities. So the child can have an associated hearing impairment, the child can have speech problems, the child can have motor impairments, so they may have associated multiple disabilities. So we need to treat them as an integrated approach. It's not just one area, but the other areas also need to be integrated for the treatment. So we, in our setup, we have vision therapists who help us with the assessment of the child, looking at functionally how the child is seeing. Yes, we know there is a vision impairment, but how is he or she using the vision for the daily activities? Okay, so we need to understand that. Like I said, child may have vision, may have good vision, may have poor vision. Okay, so we need to understand what is their visual status first, how is the child using the vision for various activities, and then thereby how can we help them to improve that. Okay, the child may require some hearing clues for him or her to turn to one side. So those are helpful for the child to look at something. So we can use those cues to help the child to respond. So that is how we in therapy we try to do. Some children have very poor vision in terms of they may not even be able to have light perception. So what we do is we have to put them in a little darker room and then show them a bright light or colored light. Some children may have preference to specific colors. They can see better if shown in red color or yellow color. So we need to understand what it is and start off the therapy from there on. Okay, and what we do in therapy is not just showing lights or showing objects, but we also bring in real life experiences. So we do a lot of activities with mirror, so the child understands that he or she is seeing the face and then understand the expressions, so that the child is able to communicate better with the caregivers. And we involve caregivers during the therapy. So we also give them few activities that they can do it at home. Okay, so it need not be expensive objects. You can simple, what is available in our house, like in terms of a spoon or a tumbler and things like that. We can have them do the activities like that. Therapy has to continue. It depends on the baseline visual status of the child, how early we have seen the child, what is the visual status of the child, and what are the areas that the child requires. Okay, because CVI does improve over time. Okay, and the earlier we do, it's better, because that's where we there is a entity called neural plasticity. That means the brain is able to adapt to different activities, and the brain is able to adapt itself. So we need to use that as an advantage and do our therapies during that time. So that's why it's important to start early, and we have to consistently do it, and there is a close follow-up that is required. So if the child, it's not that you do one thing and then there will be other characteristics that will slowly come up. So we'll have to tackle each one separately.